and welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving into a really unique healing practice, one that claims to work without any physical touch at all. It uses what it calls a spectrum of energy, light, and information. It's called reconnective healing.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? For pretty much all of history, we've associated healing with some kind of physical contact or intervention. But what if that's not the only way? What if something profound could happen without any touch at all? That's the core idea we're going to unpack together today.
So here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at how this all got started, its discovery. Then we'll get into the weeds on its core ideas about energy and information. After that, we'll see how a session actually works, and finally, we'll explore who this whole practice is really for.
To really get a handle on reconnective healing, you got to go right back to the beginning, which you'll see is a pretty surprising story. Okay, so picture this. It's 1993. Dr. Eric Pearl has this super successful chiropractic practice in LA. But then something really weird starts to happen. His patients began telling him about these incredible healings they're experiencing from things he wasn't even treating, like chronic fatigue and some really serious conditions. All of a sudden, this was way more than just spinal adjustments. It sent him on this whole journey to figure out what was going on, leading him to what he now calls a new spectrum of healing frequencies.
So what in the world are these frequencies that Dr. Pearl says he found? Well, according to the practice, it's not just one thing, it's actually a combination of three key ingredients. The whole idea here is that these frequencies make up a complete spectrum of healing. It's a concept that aims to go way beyond what we might think of as simple energy work, because it brings in these other elements that are said to help us get back to our natural state of balance.
Let's break this down. So, you've got energy, which is seen as the very fabric of our being and the universe. Then there's light, which is thought to be the way that energy travels and expands. And finally, you have information. This is the really fascinating part. It's described as the intelligence, the blueprint that's carried within that light and energy, the part that communicates with our bodies to restore order and well-being.
Okay, this all leads to the big question, right? How does just interacting with this spectrum of energy, light, and information actually do anything? How does it supposedly restore balance in a person? So here's the play-by-play of how a session is supposed to work. A practitioner basically acts as a catalyst. And remember, there's no physical contact. The goal is for them to interact with your energy field to bring in coherence. You can think of that as a state of harmony or order. This process is said to clear out any dissonance, which is like static or noise in your system. It's almost like they're finely tuning an instrument, your body, allowing it to recalibrate and find its own natural rhythm again.
Theory is great, but what does this actually look and feel like? Let's walk through what you might experience if you went for a reconnective healing session. Okay, so what's it like? You'd be lying down on a massage table, fully clothed for about 30 minutes. The practitioner moves around you, but they never lay a hand on you. Now, what people feel can be all over the map. Some report this incredible sense of peace and deep relaxation. Others feel things like tingling, warmth, or other really distinct physical sensations. It seems to be a very individual experience. And here's something you might find interesting. You probably wouldn't need to go back over and over again. The recommendation is usually just 1 to 3 sessions. That's often considered enough to really kickstart a lasting shift back to balance.
Now, this brings us to one of the most mind-bending claims of reconnective healing. It can apparently be done from anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in the same room or on the other side of the planet. The practice states that a distance session is every bit as effective as an in-person one.
So who is this really for? Given how different it is, what's the actual scope of reconnective healing? And what kind of benefits do people talk about? The benefits are always described as holistic. And what that means is it's not designed to target one specific problem, like a bad back or anxiety. Instead, the idea is to address the entire person, impacting your mental, emotional, physical, and even spiritual well-being to hopefully create a much greater sense of harmony overall.
And because it's totally non-invasive, it's said to be suitable for absolutely everyone. We're talking children, pregnant women, and it gets even broader. Some practitioners even work with animals and plants, applying the exact same principles. So if you boil it all down, the ultimate goal is pretty straightforward. It's about removing that dissonance or static we mentioned earlier. It's all about promoting overall well-being and helping someone get back to their own natural state of balance, whatever that might look like for them. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In this crazy, complex world we live in, what would a return to our own natural balance actually look and feel like for our well-being? It's a pretty powerful question to sit with.
Hey, if you enjoyed this explainer and got something out of it, we'd love your support. You can subscribe to our channel for more deep dives like this, leave a comment below with your own thoughts or questions, and of course, a like always helps us keep this content coming. Thanks so much for tuning in.